The Director General, the flip side of what you've just explained is, what's the feedback that you got from these roadshows? What are Nigerians telling you about the state of the economy, the financial markets, and the Buhari's administration?
Certainly, one of the major issues that ordinary people are raising is that, look, we have had these messages over the time, we are skeptical, we have been deceived a number of times, and we tell them, look, Nigeria has never had a better opportunity than now, because we have always had resources, we have material and human resources, but we're not able to use it well. And the major problem has been corruption. A major problem has been governance, leadership, commitment, inspiration. And certainly every Nigerian will agree that at the point where we are now, we have about an administration that offers a different perspective to life, a different perspective to governance, trying to make sure that we can see how we can strengthen the problems of the past, how we can fill the gaps of the past, and how we can turn around. But of course, this change is to be brought about, not just by the government, whatever is defined by government in quote, but also by each and every one of us. Each and every one of us is responsible for our future. And therefore, the message that, yes, we may have all been disappointed in the past, but there's always an opportunity for a new beginning. And Nigerians must not miss this opportunity. Whatever problems we have now, we must make sure that we honestly find ways of resolving them, rather than being skeptical and rather than being mutually destructive. Let's find a way of constructively dealing with the challenges on the ground and moving forward. So we assure them that one of the other issues they raise is the question of continuity. They feel that possibly whether this is one of the government, one of the projects that government policy would affect adversely if government changes in future. And we have made them understand that no, whatever government borrows remains valid obligation for any successive government. And we were able to prove that for them by using the example of the fact that since 2000, Nigeria, for example, Nigeria has been borrowing. Indeed, the loans Nigeria took from various sources, African Development Bank, the World Bank, even in the 1990s and 1980s, no government has rejected them. No government has abrogated them. No government has refused to own the obligations and to service the debt as and when due. So there is no reason for anybody to have any fear that any change in government in the next 4 years or next 8 years or next 12 years might adversely impact on the obligation of government to honor this. And of course, we also explained to them that, look, we have been issuing a VM bond in the market since 2003 or thereabout. We have been continuously on every month issuing government bonds in the market. And of course, from 2002 to now, there have been changes in government, changes in various administrations, and nobody has had an experience of their debts not being honored, of their interest not being paid. So therefore, from a practical point of view, we have a good evidence to show that it is Nigerian government, it is not possible for the government to default on its obligation. And we also made them understand that all monies that government borrows are as approved and appropriated by the National Assembly as part and parcel of the Appropriation Act. So they are not ad hoc borrowings, they are not based on subjective decisions, they are based on the appropriation by the National Assembly. So we borrow based on a law passed by the National Assembly. And therefore, because it's based on law passed by the National Assembly, the obligation is the obligation of the sovereign of Nigeria. And therefore, the sovereign will not default.
Dr. Nwankwo, we thank you for this very interesting explanations and feedback from the field. But let's look at the marketplace, at the stock exchange, where the stockbrokers are involved in the secondary trading of the savings bond, the stock exchange itself, the trading platform. What's been the feedback from the marketplace as far as this process is concerned?
Bro, that's another aspect of it to consider. To emphasize that the FGN savings bond is actually listed on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange and is being traded. What it means that even when any of us invest in the bond with 5,000, 10,000, 100,000, 1 million, and you buy a bond whose maturity is 2 years, and you get your interest every quarter. However, if after 6 months or even 3 months or 1 year, you have great need for cash, and you do not want to wait to maturity for you to realize your principal, you simply ask your stockbroker to sell the bond for you on the floor of the exchange. And because it's listed on the floor of the exchange, there will be somebody ready to buy it from you. Because just as ordinary shares of companies are always being bought and sold on the floor of the stock exchange, so also the ABN savings bond, which in this case is not a share, but is a debt obligation, is an IOU. It is being also traded and bought. That is, apart from the issuances we make every month, which we open for 7 days. Let me use this opportunity to emphasize that for June, we will open the ABN savings bond offer on June 5. So, and it will run for 5 days from June 5, which is a Monday, to the Friday of that week. Now, what happens is that this is the primary issue. That's the one we issue, and you buy. Once you buy it, and in between you want to sell, you can through your broker sell it on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. There are also people who want to buy even before we open the next offer, which will be by July. In that case, the person can buy from the floor exchange, because at every point in time, all those who have bought this bond, there are those who want to sell before maturity, and there are those who want to buy before the next auction. So, which means it is liquid. At any point in time, you are in a position to realize value from your investment in terms of redemption of the principal, because it is being traded on the floor of the stock exchange. And let's use this opportunity to appreciate the role the Nigerian Stock Exchange under their leadership is playing to make sure that these instruments are succeeding and that it's being traded actively. Actually, we have 136 stockbrokers as distributors who have been confirmed, cleared by the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Nigerian Stock Exchange as authentic, capable, and reliable dealers on the ABN savings bond. And these are trading the ABN savings bond actively on the stock exchange.
Dr. Abraham Wankwo, we thank you very much for all that you're doing, and we'll keep an eye on the next roadshow you're doing. Thank you very much for coming on the program. We appreciate that. All those explanations, the head of the Debt Management Office, Dr. Abraham Wankwo. We'll come back to the market after the break. And of course, the savings bond is still part of the market, isn't it? Just take a break. We'll be right back.